Alright guys, alright. We are here. We're here with ferrets. And let me turn my webcam around. So, we want to talk about Jumptown. Well, I want to talk about Jumptown, and I think Fez wants to talk about Jumptown. Because we do have Jumptown 2.0 coming up in the next patch in 3.16. I also might do another video that'll be up tomorrow where we actually talk about the benefits of 3.16 being gutted, so to speak, and why it's a good thing. It's going to be no spoilers. It's going to be no surprise. It's because of bug fixing. But we'll talk about that as well. But that'll be a separate video. That'll be up tomorrow. As for today, let's talk about Jumptown. And Fez, we have some new images of Jumptown. What are your thoughts of it initially? Now, obviously, guys, keep in mind, Fez, you didn't play the original Jumptown, did you? You went around then.
No, because...
No. Before your time.
Well, it's that, and I kind of thought that the Jumptown was just a place where everybody goes and they just start jumping, so...
Oh, right, okay. No jumping involved. It's a place where everybody goes and just dies. Pretty much. It was no hold bards, FPS... Ship on payload ship, just everything was dying. It was just, yeah, like if you're a salvage operator and they had salvage in the game, you would have made a fortune.
Yeah.
Do you know what the original Jumptown looks like?
No.
No, okay. So, what I might do is actually bring up, and I'll send you a photo of this as well. Jumptown Star Citizen. So, to give you guys a concept of what Jumptown looks like before and after, because I think that's going to be important for a start, they've massively reworked Jumptown. So, here's an image of what Jumptown looks like before. Right, and... Fez, you know what it looks like now because obviously it's inside Star Citizen. So it's basically gone from one building to literally being like still one sort of building, but more now. It's more gone through and is more busy around the outside of it by the looks. It looks like it's been reworked a little bit, which I'm all for. It looks amazing. But yeah, it looks like it's actually a drug lab now. Like, Jumptown was always just like an outpost, right? There's nothing special about it from the outside. Where now, if you look at it from the inside Star Citizen, it's like, wow, this place, you look like you're going to need a tetanus shot just looking at it. So I like the fact that they've gone through and they've reworked it. It looks amazing. Second thing is that it's going to be very, very profitable, and we do have some details on the profits on that as well. So here they have them going through and selling the drugs that they've got from Jumptown to Grimhex, and they're selling it for 600 UEC per unit. Now, Aurora, a Titan Avenger full of maize is worth a whopping 57,600 UEC. Now, we're not sure how much of that's profit, but that is how much that you can get when you sell it. Obviously, costs will have to come out involved. We don't know how much it's going to sell. You're going to have to buy it for, but to give you an idea, that's how much you can sell. Now, if you're on the other side of the law, you can go through and you can sell it at Porto, and you sell it for the same, 600 UEC per unit. Right, so depending on how many units you confiscate, here's how much you can make. And they do have a new interesting mechanic they've put in the game, which is something I've thought long, and I've always said that Star Citizen needed, was if you are carrying drugs, but you have this mission, you are immune from the scans going off because you got drugs. So if you've got a Titan Avenger full of drugs, full of maize, that you've confiscated, and you get scanned, the security system will not lose its shit because you've got drugs. They'll say, okay, yep, everything's fine. You've got drugs, that's fine, but you've got a license to carry that because of this mission, a temporary license. You're allowed to go on your way. So that's going to make things a lot more interesting as well too. And I've always thought this sort of framework has long been needed, because of when you do like missions, like for example when we do like the bunker missions and stuff, we've needed it then, and it has been since incorporated then. But in the early PTU, it was that if you both had you both had to have the mission, and it was all kind of wonky. But like I said, they've since incorporated it, so that's good. But yeah, this is obviously the expansion of that. This is obviously them going through, and this will lead them to do other missions as well, where like like other drugs might be available for you to confiscate. Like the Blackjack security mission over near Microtech and stuff like that. Not Microtech, Area Corp. Corp. Alright, so I'm doing a lot of the talking. Fez, what's your thoughts on Jumptown 2.0? Do you think it's going to be profitable? Do you think it's going to be interesting? What are your thoughts when it comes to this? Is this something that you're looking forward to? You take it away.
The potential does sound pretty interesting. I am looking forward to actually having a use for my for the Nova tank, and it also might lead into some pretty interesting pretty interesting opportunities for some shenanigans.
Yeah, so back in the day, Jumptown was literally a motor fest. It was just insane. People were romping up and they were having, 5-on-1 hammerhead battles, 3-on-1 hammerhead battles, 3-on-3 hammerhead battles. Literally above Jumptown while transporters were flying in and basically trying to load up and get out, while using the hammerhead as protection. Since then, a lot of things have changed. We now have the ballista. We have the Nova tank, like what you're saying. We have a bunch of Ares they've just brought into the game, which is going to make the capital ships a little... Well, the corvettes and whatnot harder to kill. Or easier to kill, sorry. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with the Ares in the game, because that thing is literally just a killing machine. But yeah, you like, even if like parking ballistas around Jumptown, for example, you're going to get orgs, basically like Sync or whoever else it may be. I imagine synchronizers are going to be involved. I haven't asked them yet, but I imagine Sync is going to be the ones trying to lock it down. You're going to have a whole bunch of orgs trying to lock down these Jumptown locations. They did say there's three. There's 3 locations they can spawn at. So, obviously you're going to have to move the vehicles and stuff like that. But, this is why we've got the C2 in the game, right? So, people like you who... You still have your C2 or did you melt it?
I have the M2.
You have the A2, do you?
I have the
M2, right, okay, yep. So, for example, people like you with the M2, right? You're going to be able to say, hey, I've got an M2... Anyone wants me to move ballistas, it's going to be, $10,000 in-game currency. And obviously, yeah, you're going to have people that are, if they're smart, start using transport beacons to be like, hey, I want to transport a bunch of Nova tanks from Microtech to, for example, Paradise Cove. Or Jumptown, or wherever it may be. So, yeah, these big ships, these M2s, C2s, A2s, and stuff like that, they're going to be needed for this sort of stuff. I can imagine this is going to be one hell of a ship fight. And unless you get on a dead server, which we'll talk about in a sec because you brought up a good point, unless we jump on a dead server, you're not going to want to go in there in an Aurora. Or a Mustang. Especially if you like your Aurora or your Mustang. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be a shit fight. You guys, start grinding the UEC now because you're going to need it. Just upgrading the weapons and stuff like that, keeping those weapons upgraded and stuff. Yeah, like it's too bad Quantum is not fully in the game because I imagine you would see a whole prices for like ships and weapons and everything just goes through the roof because of the arms race that's going to happen over this. You want to talk about the dead server theory that you have for people that have like an Aurora or a Titan or a Mustang or
Just to go find a data server with very little people on it and then have at it, I mean.
Yeah. So obviously it's going to be a case of potluck. Obviously, you can try and put the odds in your favor if you're, for example, if you're like jumping on an Australian server at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Obviously, that'd be great. But that said, keep in mind this is not going to be a guarantee that you're going to be able to pull it off. Because I tell you what, I imagine if I'm an Australian server at 3 a.m. in the morning, which tend to be am, and I see someone at Jumptown, I'm going to shoot first, ask questions later. But yeah. Apart from that, Fez, thoughts on Jumptown 2.0? Final thoughts. Now that he's officially finished up his seasonal work, how much murdering are you planning on doing, Fez?
Good question.
Well, here's a better question. Let's talk about the both aspects of this because you can be good guys and bad guys. They have put both sides of the mission in the game. Are you going to be a good boy or are you going to be a bad boy?
I just want to make money.
So you don't really care if you're like a pirate or a cop?
I mean, I don't know. We just have to wait and then see what happens.
We'll have to wait to see people if Ferrets is going to wear a badge or a gun holstered to his hip. I'm probably going to be law enforcement. I'm probably going to stick to the good side of it. It's just as profitable for both sides. So, to be honest, I'm probably going to stick to the law-abiding side. I already am in prison as we speak because of a slight misunderstanding earlier tonight. Moving along. But yeah, so yeah, at the end of the day, guys, look, it's looking really, really interesting. I'm looking forward to this. I really, really am. It's coming up over Christmas. It's going to be Christmas, New Year. CIG is away running on skeleton stuff for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks or whatever it is. I think it's about 4 weeks. So at the end of the day, no, 2 weeks actually. It's 23rd to the 6th, I think it is. So at the end of the day, yeah, it's definitely something that is going to be interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun. Just start grinding for your UEC now, which is why I was in prison. Bunker missions! Oh, well. Anyway, moving along. Bloody guards getting in the way. But anyway, but yeah, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Final thoughts, Fez?
I am excited to see what secret the vehicle
that
they're going to release.
Should probably talk about that in another video. Or wait till it comes out, actually. Actually, it looks like there's 3 new vehicles coming up. Well, 3 new ship vehicles. We're not sure if all of them are vehicles or not, but it looks like there's 3 because he says 3 names there. So that's interesting. Alright, but guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, this video has been helpful. Please smack that like button. If you're new to the channel, welcome and subscribe. Ferrets' details will be in the description below, so please obviously go and feel free to give him a follow and a like. Streaming later today, Fez?
Maybe.
He's pretty tired. He's just finished work. Alright, guys. Apart from me, I'm probably going to be streaming for a little bit. I'm not sure if it's going to be Halo or Star Citizen. But yeah, be one of those two. Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you in the verse.